Hey, what's going on, guys? We got a little rated match for you guys to feast your eyes upon, but it's gonna be kind of a boring because this is what we do. This is what we do at 650, man. We just pick the Qubeley, and that's what everybody else is doing. Now, this is actually my only 650 on this account, so I would have picked Tristan if I had it, because that's also solid, but it's also it's also sad that Qubeley literally is the main suit that you want to have on your team at this cross range. It's so sad, man. Like, it's so sad. Like, the Tristan is really good. It's better than the double zeta, so that's why you're gonna see that more than the double zeta. If you do see a double zeta on your team, you're probably gonna lose. This and the enemy team has Qubeleys and Tristans, you're probably going to lose. If you have a raid in your team, you're probably going to lose. And that's how this meta goes at this cost range, and it's actually sad. It's actually sad, guys. The fact that, because everybody knows that the Qubeley is the best suit in the game, that's where you're going to see that more, and that's why it makes it even harder for a raid to actually get around, right? Because you're always going to be focused by a bunch of Qubeleys. Like, even if they, and Tristan's also, and even if they buff the double zeta, you're still probably just going to see a bunch of generals anyway, and one support. Yeah, it's kind of rough for the raids at this cost range, but also it's all about the player really at the same time. If you're not really good with the raid, I wouldn't pick it. It's not a safe pick. Like, picking another general is actually a safer pick than actually having a raid on your team at this cost range. So I would always do that. Like, I don't have, this is my only 650 cost on this account, so yeah, I'm going to play the Qubeley. Trying to climb to S minus, I'm like halfway there. But yeah, it's truly sad, because if they actually made the double zeta better and people gravitated to using double zeta, and maybe, tuned it up, made it have its transformation, this is the thing, right? I don't know what the devs are thinking, because I don't see how the G-Fortress would have been so unbalanced at this cost range to be like it would have been the next coming of the Qubeley, but better. I just don't see it. The Qubeley is just way better in every aspect. So having a transformation that basically would have acted like the Qubeley transformation, because it's not gonna, it's going to gain an instant with the beam cannons. The double Z would have had dual beam cannons on the shoulder, which he has. Those are his beam sabers, if you didn't know. And then, missiles. So it would have been flying, charging its main double beam rifle, stun or something, switch into his cannons, shoot, re-stun them with the cannons, kind of like what the Qubeley already does, but to add a little bit more flair to it, to add a bit more damage to it, he would have been able to switch to missiles and shoot a couple of volleys of missiles and get a little bit extra damage than what the Qubeley can in the transformation. So yeah, I'm not seeing when someone left on the enemy team because they're getting salty. I'm not seeing how this transformation would have been so unbalanced that it would have like. I'm not seeing it. We got the Qubeley in the game, and this is perfectly balanced, where you literally only have Qubeleys on the team the majority of the time. Like this is probably like the one match where we actually have a little bit of a mixture. We have 2 Tristans and 2 Qubeleys. Bro, the majority of the time there was just Qubeleys on the team. Literally. So yeah. It just boggles my mind, man. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like the Qubeley is super powerful, borderline OP, because it kind of is, because the fact that you can just play multiple Qubeleys and not have a raid and still just melt and ignore the support, like that's not balance. You know what I mean? That's not balance. They have a raid on their team. They actually have a normal team comp in a way, and they lose because they have a raid and they don't have a lot of Qubeleys, and also their Qubeley left, but they was gonna lose anyway. Do you know what I mean? They only had 1 Qubeley and they had 1 Tristan. And I don't know who told people that Gelgoog high mobility type is a good pick because it has ballistic weapons. It's like, bro, my Qubeley has 30 ballistic resistance, bro. Like, I can put parts on my build to counter that. And the build was already like that because I wanted high ballistic because like at the start when the Qubeley first came out, everybody was trying to counter it with the suit in front of me, the MLRS. So I boosted my ballistic up, and I'm pretty sure everybody else must have boosted their ballistic. If they're not boosted their ballistic up, they're just going for pure damage and beam resistance. This thing has 30 ballistic and 47 beam resistance, and still has what, 31 melee resistance, 62 range, and 42 melee damage. So I'm still I'm tanking ballistics unless you're type advantage, which, you know, as you can see, it's not a problem dealing with an MLRS. Not even a problem. So yeah, like high cost is starting to get kind of boring. Like Qubeley is one of my favorite suits in the game, but this is getting like, this is not even fun anymore. Just pick Qubeley and win. That's basically what it is. It's kind of sad. That's why I want the double zeta to come on par, maybe even better than the Qubeley. But I don't know how they're gonna do it, because adding a transformation ain't going to make it better than the Qubeley. That's facts. Then if you think it's facts, like, you're out your mind. Like the double zeta needs an instant stun. Yeah, without an instant stun, it's pretty much gonna get outclassed like every time. Like even the Tristan has an instant stun with his stun fast, and also it's really good at stunning something with a shot of the beam rifle into Gatling, right? If the double zeta had better Vulcans, like faster shooting, like more like the Mark II's Vulcans, it maybe you would be able to like shoot something and then like boost towards them and stun them with the Vulcans. that could have been good, because the missiles are not that reliable. They're kind of they're good, but they shoot slow, right? So it's kind of hard to stun something. And if you're fighting a Qubeley, well, this Qubeley's got damage control, which means that you have to double the amount of missiles to stun them after a beam shot. Which I remember testing with LT SARS, it was like 8 instead of 4. Like normally it's one beam, like attack via the beam rifle into 4 missiles which stun a player, but with the Qubeley you need like 8 of them, and by the time you try to shoot 8, he's already stunned you. Like it's not in the double Zeta's favor at all, that matchup. And he has to fight the Qubeley. You have to be able to compete against the Qubeley to get any success at this cost range. Like I've shown that the Tristan can do this. The Tristan can fight the Qubeley relatively easy. Like it's hard, but it's easier than the double Zeta, basically. What I'm trying to say. It's not easy, but it's easier than double Zeta trying to fight the Qubeley 100%. Yeah, so all I say, man, is like they need to sort out this cost range, and I think the problem lies obviously with this suit here, Qubeley, and the fact that double Zeta is underwhelming and no one's really going to pick him unless they want to throw the game. Because like after this match, shout out to IY3RB, he's one of my subscribers using the Tristan. He ended up being on the enemy team. Like, I bumped, this is a random, like obviously I weren't teamed up with anyone. He ended up being on the enemy team the next round, and he had 2 double Zetas on his team, and they lost because they had 2 double Zetas. So yeah, it's pretty bad out here for the double Zetas, man. Because literally they couldn't really do much. Like they had to play more defensive with the double Zetas. The double Zeta has no frontline presence, man, other than like boosting towards you with maneuver armor and trying to clip you with its melee. Like that's literally what it has. It should have had high melee, probably been a little bit more scarier with that, but it doesn't. Which is, oh man, like this is turning into another run about the double Zeta. Like it's kind of sad, but like if we're talking about the high cost, and I'm talking about how boring it is because everything is Qubeley, and like maybe some Tristans here. Like Tristan's the only thing that's not boring at this cost, right? But you barely even see the Tristans. It's rare. Like you actually, it's not really that common to see Tristans. You see more Qubeleys, like the majority of the time. Like 80% of the time you're seeing Qubeleys, maybe 90%. And if you see a double Zeta, you're literally throwing. So it's like double Zeta needs, but and also if you play a raid, you lose. Like this is what happened to this team. They play in a raid, they lose. Like look at they had their A1, they literally lose because of it. And it's kind of mad, man. Like also this guy doesn't really, he's not really that great at doing his job, but yeah, it's hard out there for a raid. Like he's got no one to help him get to the support. That's probably what he's complaining about as he tries to dive over here. I don't blame him, man. I know how it feels when the generals don't help you, and then they spam, oh, take the supports. It's like, bruh, I got 3, three generals always coming after me, bro. It's like why is this cost range just predominantly Qubeley, man? It's because it's the best suit in the game, and other suits can't really compete against the suit's firepower and how good it is even in close quarters, right? If double zeta was a better suit and had transformation, it'd probably get picked more. But anyway, I'm gonna forget about that. I'm just gonna end the video here because it's gonna end up being a long video talking about double zeta and this cost range, because it's kind of boring. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. God bless.